Welcome back, barbecue lovers. Here we are again, chip and beef, week before the 17th. I love it. That's why we got the green on. That's why we didn't put green on back there, because we didn't want to look any thinner than we are already. So
First time you said that.
I talked to Oprah, and she's getting Weight Watchers to back us. I think we're gonna get that online. So here we are. We're going into. We just had some lunch. We just had March Madness. Well, not March Madness officially, folks, but it's all the playoff games. We're lining it up. It's getting really exciting next week. Selection Sundays is Sunday, and then we get going. Charlie, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, we are gonna enjoy it. We're
Yeah.
gonna go to the rally in Warwick on Monday.
Yes,
It's supposed to be a monsoon on Monday.
Is it going to rain again?
That's what I heard.
I think we hear that every year, though, and it doesn't. It's just like 13 degrees.
Just cold
windy.
and windy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this year, I believe we usually go to O'Rourke's and sit outside, but I think this year we're going to play it safe. And
So is this an
rally.
inside venue?
Yes,
Oh,
inside venue.
all right.
But they have music and
So
I've been there a couple of times.
You say rally. What's a rally mean? I mean,
The rally, that's the name of the place. The Rally
it's
in
actually
Airport
the name.
Plaza. Yep, in Warwick.
Great.
They have really good food there, and pool tables, darts, golf simulator. I mean, yeah, they got everything there. And they're having Bar Olympics on Monday. And
Jesus. I'm not in shape for that.
yeah, neither am I. So we'll have a fun time watching that.
That's great. Well, for you folks at home, we are really excited as well, as we're going to be cutting over to an interview right away with Nelio Vaz of Meat Bar Marketplace in North Attleboro, Massachusetts. Fantastic place if you guys love meat. He caters to, or he sells goods for all competition cookers. That's how I got to meet him. Bob Bowman, who was in on the interview, introduced me. I went up there Saturday a week ago, Charlie. It was embarrassing. I'll tell you the story quick, and it's on the video too. But we walk in the place, and I have to get what do I have to get? Oh, I have to get the corned beef. So That's what I was there for. But I also needed a 3 racks of ribs. So I'm looking, and I'm in
Meat heaven.
boom. Like there's these little. My eyes are twisting.
Like
over.
me at the liquor store. I know.
And Sue is just pushing me out of the way. Come on, we gotta go. Come on, we gotta go. And I'm like, wait, we haven't get to the sausage yet. No, we gotta go. We gotta go. So I'm like, oh, Jesus. And I screw up my order, and Nelio set me straight, thank God. He had super patience while he was hammering out sandwiches for his line at the deli. But it's fabulous. I can imagine being back there again and again. We just ate his Brazilian marinated steak tips.
Very good.
Very good. Amazing. He says that's his number one marinade he sells, and sells meat for. So that was great. And then we're leaving, and she's literally pushing me out of the place. Yeah, and I got, like an idiot, I got caught up, because they even have, he does all ancillary stuff, right? So he's got, the bread, he's got the salad bar, he's got the rubs and the sauces. He even has smoked bones for your dog.
Nice.
So that's where I get tied up, right? And then here comes my wife, and she's got this and I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, I got some Chinese sausage. I got the Brazilian steak. I'm like, you pushed me out of the way, and then you bought out the store. Anyways, we leave. The funny part is we're leaving. We're going to the other market now, because we had to pick up stuff for, I think we did a mac and cheese. And I'm like, we didn't get the damn ribs. We forgot the ribs. You didn't let me get a chance to get the ribs. And she was like, oh, we'll just get them at the next place. And I feel bad, because they would have been much better from Nelio. But anyways, take a look at this, enjoy this, and we'll be right back on the flip. All right, folks, here we are. We're with Nelio Pereira Vaz. Is that or just Pereira?
Just Nelio Vaz.
Nelio Vaz. Okay, from Meat Bar Marketplace up in North Attleboro, Massachusetts. Bob Bowman introduced me to Nelio when we just did our boiled dinner, when we did our corned beef, which was fantastic. That was a wonderful cook. We did that, Nelio, last week for film, and then I came back up Saturday and I bought another one, because I'm going to do it for my boy actually on St. Patrick's Day. So welcome, Nelio, and thanks for being on the show. And we're dying to find out more about you and your marketplace, how long you've been in business, what you find as, the best parts of your job and most challenging parts of your job, and we'll just go from there, I guess.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Yeah.
You were telling me a little story about another competitor.
So I got turned on to Nelio here from 16 Mesh Barbecue, the Kimballs. I was looking for a prime brisket, and they're like, "Oh, the Meat Bar Marketplace in North Attleboro. Call up there. Guy's name is Nelio. He'll hook you up." And sure enough, I go in there, and he has his display cooler and prime brisket. That's what he's got, and that's what I was practicing on. And now that I know that's what I use for my catering, is I'll do prime brisket, and that's one of the things that we did. So yeah, so 16 Mesh Barbecue, they were the ones that initially introduced me to Nelio.
Great.
And and it's been great so far. It's been wonderful. Good meats, good service. Can't be beat.
Awesome. Yeah, I know. I want to hear from Nelio, but about the service was great because I was at the butcher's counter and I was making basically a jackass out of myself, not knowing what I was talking about
Really?
and stuff.
Really?
Go figure, right?
Oh.
See, Nelio, everybody loves me at this job because I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and everybody knows it, and they still accept me, so it's great. But Nelio did the same thing. So while he's over there making sandwiches, he had a line. He had about 3 or 4 people deep making a line of sandwiches at the counter. He's over there directing the guys. No, he doesn't want that. He wants this. Go in the back, get this, put that sticker. I'll take it out of inventory later. He's telling them everything to do while he's over there making sandwiches. Didn't miss a beat. So how'd you get started? When did you start your market?
We started July 2021.
Okay.
We opened the shop, but before that, I was a corporate guy. We always been in the meat business. My family, if you go back, we always had farms, butcher shops. That's where we come from that.
Right.
So, we did corporate for a while, and then in 2020, family's getting it's tough, like devoting time between family and work.
Sure.
So
Now, does your family work with you?
we have yes and no. So they come in. My wife is there sometimes not. So we still have a little guy at home that we got to care for.
Sure.
But Jack's work with me. He's there all the time. He's
Okay.
full time on board.
Now, did I read that your wife basically manages your web page for you?
Yeah, the wife does all that.
Because that's
everything else.
your web page is fantastic. It's so informative. I was on there the other day. That's where I learned about that spoon roast. It just got
Spoon roast.
Yeah, you got to. I'm going to let Nelio. I know a little bit about it because I bounced it off Tommy the Butcher. I said, Tommy, we should look at doing this, and he was trying to tell me that the primal that it's cut from, the spoon roast is on top, and then the picanha is underneath it.
Yeah, so you have a whole top butt, which
Yep.
is the center cut, and then you have the picanha on top with the layer of fat.
Right.
So the spoon roast got 2 ways. I personally like it with the picanha attached to it, so you get a lot of fat on top. Like, I like fat.
Okay.
So I made ribeyes, briskets, short ribs. So I like the spoon roast to have that fat cap on it. When you roast it, you get a nice crisp on that fat towards the end if you just broil it really hard.
Sure.
But it's really, really tender. It's an extraordinary piece.
Yeah, that's what I was reading.
people
That basically, if you cook the spoon roast correctly, you could eat it with a spoon. That's where the name comes from.
And it is so tender. It is so good.
Yeah, that
And
sounds
it's
awesome.
a lot of sirloin comes off, the rear end. So it's a really nice cut of meat.
Yeah.
And you don't need a lot to it. The flavor profile is really good. So a little bit of salt and pepper.
Yeah.
And, medium rare. I like to cook mine to about 115, 120, nothing crazy.
Yeah.
A lot of people like it well done. I always joke around in the shop, the cow's already dead. So you need to kill it again.
Good point. Yeah, good point. Now,
So
so I'd love to. I don't know if there's a way. We'll have to figure it out. In future conversations. But if there's a way to get on film, maybe you and Tommy breaking down that primal or something, for us to go back and cook it. What's that?
who's Tom? Who's Tommy the
Yeah,
Butcher?
so we have an asset. I call him a character. His name's Thomas Pino. He's from Situate, Rhode Island. He's worked at Stop and Shop for 41 years. He's a butcher. He's been a butcher for that long, and he's just about ready to retire. And he's a backyard barbecue guy. So that's all he does, and he's also an aspiring culinary cook. He loves to cook, so he comes on and does cooks with us once a week. We'll pick something. It could be soup, it could be something on the smoker, it could be something in the oven that we go ahead and we cook for our audience, and we put a video up. So he's Tommy the Butcher, and he's somebody I rely on if I like I did with your spoon roast. I was like, hey, what's this spoon roast? Tell me about it. And he has the experience to give me the broad strokes of it. So I was actually going to have him on the show tonight to talk with you because he loves to learn, and he would probably learn a lot from you. But unfortunately, he was up from 1 in the morning. His shift started at 1 in the morning today, so he couldn't make it. He was out. But if we could do something, I don't know, just to kind of prelim into it, because we'll do a cook with them both afterwards, and if we can just prelim in with some kind of I don't know. We'll have to think about it. We'll have to figure it out if we can.
We'll have them come into the shop, and then we can all get together, do a little cutting. We can even, I don't know, get smokers in the back, so throw one in the smoker too if you guys want to hang around.
Oh, that would be great. That'd be fantastic.
So he does, like pulled pork. He'll do pork sandwiches.
Oh,
and
right,
things. So he smokes his own meat there.
I DoorDashed his Cuban sandwich today.
Oh,
I had said I got to try. I was on your website, and I said, I had. So we had picked up a Wagyu brisket. Tommy did, actually. You had a sale on Wagyu brisket. This went back to like the beginning of summer. I think it was $9.99 a pound, and so he was like, I'm going to go buy some of these. You want one? And he picked one up for me. And then, so we had an episode after, and that episode, we try to get, if we're cooking late or we're doing an episode late, we try to have dinner first. So I said, I'm going to get some sandwiches from Meat Bar Marketplace, and I did it, and I was able to DoorDash it. So I was like, and it's great because it was late in the day, so they're out of something. They called me up and they said, hey, would you want to swap this out? So I was like, the service was great. And I said, I'm going to have to do this again. So I was looking on the website last night, and I was like, oh, he's got a Cuban. I love Cubans. So I said, I got to try this. So today for lunch, I had a Cuban. So you smoked that stuff right in your back?
So that Cuban, it's like everything that we do in the shop that we put it out, unless if it's like an Italian or ham and cheese, like we're not going to smoke that. But everything else that we put on the menu, one way or another, went through there's no question about it. So that that Cuban today that you had, it's a house baked roll with Swiss ham, and you do the mustard, and then we take the blade meat. That's what we use on that Cuban. That meat that you had in between it, that's our blade meat sandwich meat.
That goes on the
that
Cuban.
Meat that we use.
All right, so I also picked up a quarter of your tomato sauce. Am I going to be disappointed there? You got a good Italian streak in you at all?
I hope not. We don't smoke.
Yeah.
Maybe tomatoes.
Well, I saw it on the menu, and I said, well, wise guys, I'm going to have some pasta with your tomato sauce. So I picked up a quart of that, too. So I was having to, and, when we go, we can't bring Chip. My co-host, Chip, I know a little bit about cooking. He knows nothing. He knows everything about eating. So I won't be able to afford him going to your store. So I'm going to keep him out. That was the other thing I did on Saturday. I picked up a few pieces of you had a Brazilian marinated steak tips. Oh my God, it was fantastic. My wife did it on a flat iron with some peppers. What's that?
Our number one selling marinade in the store. We sell so much of it.
Oh,
like
it
on
was
the summertime.
delicious.
Pork. We put that on everything.
Yeah, it was delicious. My wife did it on a flat iron with some onions and jalapeno peppers. Oh, it was fantastic. It was fantastic. So great. So what, you started in 21, and have you always been in that same place that I was at Saturday, or did you move around?
No, that's the original spot. We always been downtown North Attleboro, and that's up right now. There's no plans to move on, to be honest with you. Like, we like the location.
It's a cute little town right there. That town is really cute.
It is. It's coming along. They're filling up the storefronts, and they're doing a lot of work. The whole main road, replacing the light post, and they do a very good job in the town to maintain.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Keep it up. So
it's beautiful. My wife, when we went down the area, my wife recognized it. She goes, I came here. Maybe she was there with her sister or something. She goes, this is really cute. And she started pointing out some of the houses. And like you said, the lamp posts on the street are all being nice and decorated different. I mean, not decorated. They're just changing them out. They just look beautiful. So why the meat bar? Where'd that name come from?
That's my wife's.
That's your wife's
She's the one that
creation.
picked. Yeah.
So I mean,
Because
go ahead.
I'm like I do all the work and she does all that.
The marketing.
Usually the we'll have to run it through her. Otherwise, we'll come up with some crazy name out there.
Yeah.
We do have of them right now that people get a good laugh at them.
Yep.
But
No,
overall,
it's interesting
the
because in when is it Woonsocket, right? In Woonsocket they have the meat barn. So I always screw it up and call it the meat barn. Like when I'm thinking of your place, I'm thinking of the meat barn. But what I like about your name, it's very unique on the internet. If you do put in meat bar, you're only getting your site,
Yeah.
which is really unique. I like that.
yeah, so the place in Woonsocket, I believe they're called the Beef Barn.
Beef barn.
Beef barn, that's it.
Yeah.
Yep, yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep.
At a couple locations.
Yes.
It's just it's one of those things like we wanted to be, like have a nice name that catchy. So
Sure.
the meat bar when he came, it was just about the meat, and now it's more of a deli, and then we have you guys, and there's about 10 other competition teams that come in. And
Yeah.
they'll get their top, their ribs, and their briskets from us, and it's like it became more of like a spot where you go in and you can get more than just your meat. So
Yeah.
No, I love the way you combine like a whole culinary experience, right? You get the salad bar, so you can go over there and get some salad for your, whatever you're going to be cooking, and then you have the wines and the beers. I think you try to do some pairings with, if you want to pick that up, and you have all the Khaleesi breads and all the breads there and everything. So I mean, if I look at it like that. I look. Michael Meats is in Cumberland, and it's someplace I go to, and like I like a store like the Meat Bar because you can go in and just pick up everything you exactly need.
Yeah, right.
You don't have to go. You're gonna have to go crazy at a regular supermarket. You just get everything you want to get there, and it's awesome.
I mean, he's got you got that whole display of just barbecue rubs and the sauces.
Yep.
yes, I have a line of the meat bar rubs in there, and then we also have the Franklin Sauce Company, which is it's unique sauces as well. And then we do a lot with like small independent guys. Once in a while, I'll get reached out. Like we just got a new brand in. I can't even remember the name of it. Came in yesterday. It's not even on the shelf yet, but it's veteran owned from Texas, and they just gave us a call. We placed our first order. We got them in yesterday, and it's just like unique products that you can't really find them everywhere else. So we bring them in, and just we try to have a nice selection of that barbecue sauces, rubs, all that in house at all times.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great. So when you mentioned these barbecue competitors, what's the butcher's perspective on that? Like, do you stock different cuts for those competition cooks? Is there a market that you try to strive for them?
So we always gonna have prime beef, prime briskets, Berkshire pork, or Duroc ribs in house for those guys. But overall, we try to like sell the same product that we sell in the competition guys to the to the consumer. So our prices are very comparable to what you get out there. There's a lot of places selling briskets right now at $10-12 a pound.
Yeah.
We're not even close to that. So a full packer right now in the store it's $7.49.
Wow.
So we really try to make sure that like not only you guys coming in and getting competition, but also the consumer. Your everyday consumer can just be
Yep.
part of that as well. Maybe they're not competing, but they're still getting the same great product at the same an awesome price.
Yeah, that's awesome. And obviously with the corned beef, you brine that. So you do a lot of brining techniques too with the meat that you have there.
So the corned beef, we have the prime briskets, and then we have the Wagyu this year. That's new to us.
Yep.
So
Where are you getting your Wagyu? Is that Australian or is that American?
It's Mishima Reserve. So we don't work with anything else but Mishima Reserve. Reason why is we don't have anything frozen in the store but the freezer section. We have no freezers in the house.
Wow.
We have to have a section of the freezer in the sales floor that we section it off so we can store some bread and we can store like egg rolls and the little things. But anything that comes in is fresh. So when you get ribs, I'll rather tell you, hey, I don't have that because that frozen. I sent it back from the back door. You got to come back tomorrow. We'll have fresh product in house. Then to bring in a frozen product and sell it to you. So Mishima Reserve, the only company out there that sells a true fresh Wagyu beef, American Wagyu. So we don't. That's all we work with. We used to work. We didn't used to work. We looked into work with Snake River, and there's a couple more out there. It's just a frozen product. For me, it's not. I don't think I personally wouldn't want a frozen brisket
Right.
to take out and smoke it. So why would I sell it to the consumer?
Good point. Awesome point. What are you finding any sort of meat trends? What are your customers asking you for that you might not have or you're thinking about having in the future? Are you finding anything changing? Is our economy changing what your customers are shopping?
So economy changes all the time. I know it goes from like right now it's January, February, and March. It is the three slowest months for us, like when it comes to butcher shop and retail. So that haven't really affected anything yet. It's hard for me to say what's changing, what's not. Our sales are good. Customers still coming in.
Yeah.
There's play on that end. So for me to say that there is a shift on the economy as of right now, no, I haven't really, felt that yet.
Yep. No, and
So
I'll tell you honestly. All right. So I love to eat. That's obvious. Number one. And if there's something I'm not going to cut back on is quality, right? I'm not going to go down to Everyday Market and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to spend 60% of what I would want to spend because that's just where I am today. I'd rather cut somewhere else and get what I want to eat and go to a quality place. That's why that's why I got all starry-eyed on Saturday when I was in the meat bar. That's awesome.
yeah, and for us, it's been that way. Like if you look up my prices from 3 years ago when we opened my New York strips and the ribeyes, they were $17.49 3 years ago, and the ribeyes are $19.99 today. So for me, we're gonna keep that price the same. It's 3.5 years into it, and those items are still the same price from when we opened. So we basically we're growing the business, and instead of raising the prices, we're bringing more people through the doors. So the volume offset that extra 50 cents to a dollar that I'll have to charge you.
Yep,
And
that's
that's why
perfect.
sometimes briskets in. I think Bob was there. Bob was there when he got the Wagyu briskets towards the end of the summer last year. We
Yeah.
saw Wagyu briskets for $7.49 a pound.
Right.
Um,
That's insane. Tommy's still amazed by that. I think when Tommy bought it, it was $9.99 or $9.49. But when he heard $7.49 from you, he was
Right.
How could that be? How could he have done that? That's amazing.
yeah. So that's the
Cool.
whole. You buy a lot, you sell a lot. It's not you're making 50%. You don't need to make that. I always feel like if you make people happy, people come back to you. So you give them the best product at the best price,
Right.
and they'll be loyal.
Tell us about your sausage. What do you do with your sausage up there? I did see some things. I happen to want to buy some breakfast sausages for my kids when they're back on this spring break, but I didn't get a good look at what goes on with sausages. What are you doing with that? Anything special there, or is that just a resale item?
Sausages, we have sweet hot, a breakfast, a garlic and cheese, a Chinese, a broccoli raw.
My wife bought some Chinese sausage. Yeah.
Chinese sausage.
She come out, so she was like, "Don't buy that, don't buy that." I go, "Okay." So I walked away for a minute. I went and looked at your. I have
You
3
turned
dogs.
your back on
I
her.
did. I went to look at the dog business because he has smoked dog bones.
Oh,
So I went and picked out
Yeah.
some dog bones, and she comes out and she's got like packages like this. I'm like, "What'd you do?" I bought some Asian sausage. I bought the steak tips. I'm like, "Oh, she
You can't
told me
resist.
no." And then I'm driving back on 295. I'm like, Jesus, we didn't even buy the damn ribs.
It's like an adult candy store.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
can't
Yeah,
resist.
no, that was bad for me. Great time, great place.
Did he have you pull around back to load up the car?
No, it wasn't that
Okay.
bad.
Oh,
It wasn't that bad.
bad.
I'm telling you, she was pushing me out the door.
That's fun.
Yeah, no, that's
And then once the weather changes up a little bit right now, we'll bring back the few sausages that we had more. It's just it's really hard in the wintertime. You make sausages and you just sit on them. We like stuff to move, so we'll
Right.
bring back the smoked jalapeno cheddar
Oh yeah,
sausages.
yeah.
Oh, that's great.
We have this cheese. We have the maple bacon bourbon sausages, and we just have 4 or 5 different sausages. So we either make it with pork and beef, or pork alone. They'll be back on sometime within a month or so.
Yeah, I did
So-
sign up for your email newsletter, so I'm dying to
good.
catch that coming around. Hopefully I get all that good news. Do you do any tomahawk steak cuts?
We do. So it's every Friday we got tomahawks, and
Every Friday. Okay, so you don't have to special order them or nothing. Just they'll be there.
no, every Friday comes in. We usually sell out on the weekend, and then we go ahead and Monday through Friday. Not a lot of people are cooking a tomahawk.
Right.
Like you have steak tip in your New York strips and your ribeyes and your tenderloins. I can see that, but
Right.
it's really hard to see someone coming home from work and you know what, I'm going to cook a tomahawk. Let me
Sure.
spend the next hour and a half
Sure.
after a long day. So Saturdays and Sundays are the day.
All right. Good. I'll be in there Saturday to pick us some up.
Have you ever, Delio? You ain't do any beef plate?
Plate ribs, yes.
Yep.
Do a lot of plate ribs. I actually have plate ribs on sale right now.
Really?
US
Have you ever
choice.
done those?
Well, isn't that where you get the beef bacon from the
No.
plate ribs? No. What are
Beef
those?
bacon, beef bacon comes from the whole ab. So we take like the flank and the ab and part of the brisket out together, and that's where we get that.
Because you had some of that in the cabinet too. I saw that in your cabinet.
That beef bacon, more primarily brisket.
Okay. But what are the
The
plates?
plates is so you get the
Plate rib.
plate ribs. It's yeah.
They're not short ribs.
No.
No.
So the short
They have
ribs.
short ribs. They're cut. They usually have 3 or 4 bones. They're called dinosaur ribs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
so you-
Yep.
Think of like a 10 by 10 or an 8 by 12 square or
Yeah.
rectangle, and that got your plate ribs. So
Yeah.
you get a full Packers bony short rib, uncut, and that's what it is. So like
Yeah.
right now we run it at $6.99 on sale. So we have short ribs on sale for $6.99. So those plate ribs are included on that price as well. We don't have to cut or trim them.
I might have to go up. I might have to go up there.
Yeah, well, but I got a problem though. I got to go up on a weekend when he has all this great food, but I got to go when he's not jam busy so I can talk to him because he's going a mile. He's going a mile a minute. So what's coming up for the Meat Bar Marketplace? Anything new or different you want to tell us about or tell our listeners about?
So there's a couple of things in the work right now. I'm trying to set up the Meat Bar barbecue cook-off. So I want to.
What?
This is going to be the first. So I want to get that rolling. Right now I'm working on a venue where we can host that.
Yeah.
Wanted to get some guys up there. Maybe 10, 15 guys. And there's always that idea of we throw it around to have like a barbecue competition, like host one. It's just a matter of like finding the right venue and set everything else straight.
Now would that be for competitors or backyard people or?
I think we should have both in both category. If you guys want to come along, of course, we'll have your little spot.
Yeah.
But also give your everyday Joe, like guy who just likes to smoke on the weekends, a chance to it as well. So I think she have
That's-
two
that's
categories.
There's the
Pro-am, yeah.
pro-am event.
Yeah,
Pro-am event.
Professional amateur event. Perfect. And just
Yeah, so we're trying to do that, and I'm really pushing for the next month, sometime in April. I want to hold a class, almost like a barbecue class. Like you come into the shop, we're just gonna have everyone around, and a Sunday afternoon we're gonna cook some ribs. So that's what we're doing. We're gonna cook some ribs. Then after that, you take the rib, you go home. And that's the whole idea.
yeah. No, that's it sounds like a winner. Well, Nelio, I really want to thank you for taking the time tonight and getting on this box with us. This is great. Great meeting you. I look forward to visiting your store many, 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 many times. I will be back.
I might see you later this week.
So, yeah, no, thank you very much. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you,
Thanks
Neil.
for having me.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, folks, that was fantastic. Nelio, thank you. Bob, thank you for taking that time. Tommy, you should be excited right now. I'm sure you're grabbing your butcher coat and getting it into the wash as we speak. Nelio, that's a great offer to have us come out there. We'd love to work on that primal cut and see if we can get a spoon roast and a picanha cut out of it.
Spoon roast?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got
a spoon
Well, I know
roast?
little about. I'm not going to even try to pretend like I know everything about it. I saw it on Nelio's website.
Yeah.
The top part of the hind quarter of the cow, that primal,
Yep.
right above the picanha, has this roast that it's a cheaper meat, so you can't like cook it like a steak or anything.
Gotcha.
But when you do cook it, if you cook it correctly with the method of, I think you're boiling it, it's so tender that you can literally eat it with a spoon. So that's where it comes from. And you heard from Nelio, he wants to have Tommy up there, and they're going to break down that meat for you on film, and then we can probably get it on a smoker in the back. And
It's going to be like listening to Brady and Manning talk about football
Right.
while we're there, right? I'm going to be like, what?
Yeah, no, it's great. And the other great thing is, the amount of competitors that he has come up there and shop his area. It was 16 Mesh, who goes up there, the Kimballs, who sent Bob his way. And Bob now, besides buying everything, well, not everything, but most of his meats for his competition cooks there, he buys all of his briskets for his catering business. So he's got these, it's just unbelievable prices. He's got a U.S. Wagyu brisket that he sells, and I think he does sell it for, if you buy the whole brisket packer, it's $10.99 a pound.
Wow.
And he has sales on it in the summer. I mean, I seen it at $9.49 a pound. I think Bob has seen it for $7.49 a pound. It's insane, like how they get these prices. But you heard from him, he'd rather do it with the volume of the business he's doing, and rather than just spiking up the prices. But it's a cute little store.
And you just walk in there cold, right? You don't have to like call ahead.
No,
right?
you don't have
like
to call ahead.
You go in and you and Sue just went in there and picked out what you wanted.
Right, depending on the time, what you want to do. I mean, he has a great little theory about when he cuts things for different parts of the week. But you can just go in and buy what he has, and it's like a regular meat market. Different things are coming out all day. Or I'm sure you can call ahead and put it in order and stop by and pick it up if you don't have the time. But he has a full service of goods there, right? He's got all Khaleesi's bread. He's got a salad bar inside. He's got wine. Oh, that's the other thing they do. So they do wine and beer pairing. They sell that there. So if you're telling them, what meat you buy, you're cooking that.
They'll have the wine for it or beer for it or whatever.
Fantastic.
They want.
He wanted it to be a one-stop shop culinary process for meat, right? There's no fish in it, and then he has an unbelievable deli section. All of it is backed by DoorDash, so you can call up and get things delivered. So in my DoorDash, I had to do it because we are the wise guys. I bought a quart of marinara sauce. So he sells marinara sauce, and I told him, I said, Nelio, you're not. This is real now. Don't joke around. We're the wise guys. We know this stuff. Am I going to be disappointed? He goes, I hope not. I don't think you will be, because we've done it for a long time and we continue to sell it. So people are buying it, and thank God. That's great. So thank you very much for doing that. It was real special, and we will be back. More to come from the Meat Bar Marketplace.
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah. So so here we go. We're getting rallied up now. We had a little prelim to St. Patty's Day.
We did.
And you had mentioned our friend Ellen. And tell us about
Yeah, well, Ellen, our contributor from the Northlands up in Maine, New Hampshire area, she sent a birthday gift down here for me and the podcast and you. And she said we can't open it till the show right before St. Patty's Day. So you can kind of see it back here. Sitting there, so we're gonna open that thing right now. And
now you haven't looked in there, so
I have no idea what it is. So this is gonna be fun.
So I want to make sure you're okay with it. So you haven't looked in the box yet.
No, but
and we love Ellen.
We love Ellen, and knowing her as long as we have, I can't imagine it's something.
If you're
something too risque.
If you're confident, I'm confident.
Maybe she's got a little different sense of humor these days. I don't know.
All right, well,
but we're gonna give it a shot.
I'm not sending this by the Census Bureau, so we'll have to live with it either way. All right, let me get it either way. I love it. I love it. How did she do
Hail Odin.
That's
I don't
that looks like it's been painted.
I don't put things past her anymore. She's very creative, and
yeah,
she has a lot of connections with people.
That's awesome. So good job, Ellen. Oh, do we? So
Wow.
is it Charles the Conqueror? Do we get to name this or something? Or?
It's Charlie the Viking, or
So I have to know, has the gift been opened?
it has been opened, and we're like a little bit in awe of it.
That's exactly what
Is
I'm
that
doing.
And we've been
is
having,
that not the most extraordinary thing you have ever seen?
we want to know how you pulled that off.
That is the most extraordinary thing
we
I've
were
ever seen.
Totally shocked.
Okay,
We're just discussing where it goes.
And what the name of it should be. I like Charles the Conqueror. What do you think?
well,
We need a name for the
And-
picture. Are we going to call it Charles the Conqueror?
are you gonna call
What
it?
are we going to? We got to name this thing. It's such a work of art. We just can't leave it unnamed.
it is.
And we can
It
ask
is.
we can
It's
ask our
extraordinary.
audience if you guys have
Don't ask the audience.
come
I
on,
love that.
Come on, I got to get some.
we know who our audience is. They're
we
not going to
need-
go with anything appropriate.
Nor
I
should
just
they.
loved it.
Take care, Ellen.
It has indeed.
has
Okay,
indeed.
love you both.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye. Well, that was a great little change up right there. Elle, again, that was an amazing gift, and I don't know what I'm going to do to top that, but you have inspired me, so I'm going to put some thought into it. I don't
You've
know.
touched me and I've grown.
Yeah, I don't know. A live tiger. I know what I'm gonna do. But anyway, another great show, and can't wait to get up to the meat bar
Yep.
soon
Yep.
with you and Tommy the Butcher, and see that whole fiasco
Yeah,
going.
more to
That's
come.
gonna be
More to
amazing.
come. Definitely. But most importantly, happy birthday. Enjoy
you.
enjoy
Appreciate
your
it.
birthday Monday.
I will.
We gotta raise a pint.
Yep.
That would be fun.
So any of our viewers who are in the Warwick area, if you want to stop by the rally at Airport Plaza, we'll be there at noon, and we have a table, and we'll be enjoying ourselves leisurely.
Yes, you won't regret the time that you will have.
No, you won't.
All right, folks. Have a great weekend. Peace. Where's my hand? Oh, there it is.